morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Gather props. If you have blocks, grab them. If you need a strap for your arms in various poses, grab your strap. It's not necessary. And today we're also using a roll. So if you don't already have a roll, I'm going to quickly show you how to make a roll out of a blanket. So any blanket will do. This just happens to be a very thick army blanket. You can also use like a big beach towel or a big bath towel. So what you'll do is whatever you have is you want to get it to about this size, about 3 feet high by 2.5 feet wide, something like that. Then place it on the floor and fold it. For most blankets, you'll be folding it in thirds, like a legal letter, so that it makes a long, narrow shape. Then from the short end, start rolling it up. And roll it somewhat tight. Roll it as smooth as possible. Some fabrics are easier to do that than others. And then once you have it rolled, you'll notice that it wants to unroll. That's okay. Just move it off to the side. We're going to use it in a moment. So I'm not going to use this roll that I just made. I'm going to just throw this off to the side. I'm going to use the roll that I already have, which is actually made from an old yoga mat that it's too beat up to use to practice on anymore. So I folded it in thirds, rolled it up. And I got these super big rubber bands from Amazon, and that's what I use to hold it together. You can also use tape, like big packing tape. Also grab padding for your knees. Then come and find your comfortable seated position. Come into your deep Ujjayi breath and close your eyes. Allow your Ujjayi breath to start pulling you inside. Feel your breath. Now use your breath as you inhale to run your breath through your whole body and scan your body for a spot that feels tight, constricted. You might also feel a spot that starts holding another layer. Could be fear or worry. You could also just stick with anything that feels stuck, constricted, tight, or even painful. Use the next couple of deep breaths to really hone in on this spot. And if more than one spot calls to your attention, pick one of them for today. Now get a deep, luxurious breath and start saturating your spot with that breath. And if your spot's too tight or too constricted to really receive that breath, feel for getting the breath as close to your spot as possible and really massaging your spot with your breath. Exhale, rinse the breath in and around your spot, starting to open up your spot, make some space. And it doesn't have to happen immediately. It's just a gentle rubbing, moving, starting to make some openness, some spaciousness in and around your spot. dedicate today's class to bringing your breath and your attention into your spot, using your breath to make your spot feel softer, more spacious, and more integrated and connected to your whole body. Pranayama is alternate nostril breathing. And I'm actually going to move a little closer to the camera. Bring my padding along with me. We're going to come into knee pile. So bring your right foot beside your left hip and the left leg on top of that. Knees are stacked. If that does not work for you, just straighten your right leg straight out in front of you. And you can bend that left knee. If that still doesn't work, easy cross leg works here. What we're going to do first is use the right hand. So bring up your right hand, and I am mirroring you here. Place down the first two fingers. Then turn your hand to face you. Using your thumb first, close off the right nostril. Exhale all the breath out. Get empty first. Then inhale the breath. Your nose closed, unless you're pregnant. If you're pregnant, you're just lifting your thumb and exhaling. Everyone else, hold the breath. Then lift your thumb, exhale the breath out, get empty. Inhale. Hold the breath, pinching your nose closed lightly. Unless you're pregnant, just go right into your exhale. Then everyone lift your ring finger, exhale the breath out. That's one round. Do another round on your own on this side, and then we'll switch the cross of our legs to do 2 rounds on the other side. This is about even breaths on the inhale, hold, and the exhale. Before coming to the other side, switch the cross of your legs. If you're an easy cross leg, switch the cross of your legs. You might find that this side feels different, so if you need to take a different version of your legs, do that. This time we're switching hands, we're using the left hand. Place down the first 2 fingers, and you're going to still start with your thumb. Close off your left nostril, exhale all the breath out. And then continue on your own 2 rounds. Feel in for all of the aspects of your breath and how they affect your spot. When you're done, bring both hands onto your thighs or your knees. Come back into your Ujjayi breath, breathing in through the nostrils, noticing how this pranayama has affected your spot and your attention. Rinse your exhale through your spot, using your breath to bring in more space, more calmness, more openness into your spot. Then, coming into seated side bend, straighten your left leg. Bring the right foot to the inside of the thigh. Bring the left hand to the inside of your left thigh or the outside on fingertips. Neck release to start. Stretch your right arm behind your hip. Inhale, stretch your side bottom ribs away from your waist. Get taller. Exhale, lean into the side bend, flattening your left hand on the floor. Relax your neck. Push into your legs and your sit bones. Inhale, stretch breath into your right bottom side ribs. Get those ribs to move up. Make space. Exhale, roll the head of your left shoulder, or right shoulder rather, the top shoulder back. And then let your right arm just be heavy. No pulling, just let gravity, the weight of gravity in that arm, relax your neck a little further. Next arm position, chest opener. Inhale the right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Push up through the fingers. Exhale, reach that hand back in the same direction as your right hip, just 2 inches. And as you exhale, pull that arm and your collarbone back behind you. Stretching your chest, cross the collarbones, open a little wider. This left arm and hand is very valuable. Push into the floor with the left hand, but also push that left forearm into the inside of the leg and the leg back into the arm. Inhale, stretch forward through your sternum, get taller. Exhale, squeezing that arm, the left arm into the leg and the leg into the arm. Use it to help open up your chest a little more. And relax your neck, especially if it just lifted up to help open up your chest a little more. Then come back straight up. Come back into neck release. And inhale, pull yourself back up. Use your left hand on the side of your cheek and help your head back up. Switch sides, right leg straight, left foot to the inside of your thigh. Right hand on fingertips to the inside or outside of your right leg. Neck release to start, so stretch that left arm straight out behind the hip, moving props if they're in your way. Push into your legs. Inhale, lift both bottom side ribs up away from the waist. Exhale, lean into your side bend, relax your neck. Push into your right hand. Inhale, scoop your right bottom side ribs forward towards the direction of the right foot, pushing into your right hand to help with that. Exhale, you might have just created a little more space to lean a little more into your side bend without coming into a forward fold. Meaning, as you inhale, lift that left shoulder and collarbone up away from the floor. Exhale, roll the head of the left shoulder back, sliding the shoulder blade away from the ear, and feel for that left arm being heavy. Next arm position, chest opener. Inhale, the left arm straight up towards the ceiling. Bring that left arm in the same direction as your left hip, about 2 inches. Inhale, up through that left shoulder into the left arm. Push into your legs. Exhale, reach that left arm back behind you, opening up your chest. Use your right hand on the floor. Push into the floor. Isometrically pull the floor towards you. To inhale, your ribs towards your right foot. Exhale, squeezing the arm into the leg. Reach that left arm back behind you a little more, deepening your chest opener. To come out, come back up to center. Bring that left arm into neck release. Inhale, pull yourself back up. Use the right hand on your cheek and lift your head back up. Abdominals. Lie on the floor. Make sure that you have either a block or a roll nearby. We'll use it for our second abdominals. First abdominals is elbow to knee. Bring the knees over the hips, feet lower than the line of the knees. If you're pregnant, what you're doing instead is feet stay on the floor, head stays on the floor, and you're doing pelvic tilts here. If you'd like to, instead, press your lower back into the floor and lift the legs straight up towards the ceiling. When it's time for everybody to straighten the leg, you can do that. But your head stays down, no breath holds, no pulling the belly in. Everyone else, bring your knees over the hips, feet lower than the line of the knees. Active feet. Clasp your hands behind the base of the skull. Spread your low back and your mid back into the floor. Take a deep inhale, lift your head and shoulders up. Hold the breath. Bring the top rim of the sacrum on the floor. Scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, both elbows towards the left knee. Straighten the right leg. Either 45-degree angle, or if it's better for your low back, bring your legs straight up towards the ceiling. Pull your low belly down. Breathe in deeply. Come back to center. Hold the breath. Spread the low back down. Scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the right knee, left leg straight. Push out through the ball of the left foot. Pull your low belly down. Breathe in deeply, come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the left knee, right leg straight. Squeeze your right sit bone muscle towards your tailbone and pull your low belly down. Breathe in and come back to center. Hold the breath, spread the low back down, scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, elbows towards the right knee, left leg straight. Squeeze the left sit bone muscle towards your tailbone and pull your low belly down. Breathe in, come back to center. Do 3 more rounds on your own. Use the heat that you're building in your abdominals to flush out your spot. Once you're done, come back to center. Bring the head down and the feet down. Breathe in. Feel into your spot. Notice how this heat that you're generating affects your spot. Then grab your prop, could be a block or your roll. Place it between your thighs. If you're pregnant, you're doing abless with the block. Feet stay down, head stays down. It's basically like a pelvic tilt. Exhaling, spreading the low back into the floor, scooping your tailbone, squeezing your block. Inhale, pubic bone rolls away from your belly button. Your low back may lift off ever so slightly from the floor, but keep your back bottom ribs on the floor. Keep squeezing your block and active feet. Everyone else, clasp hands behind the base of your skull. You have options for legs. Feet can stay down, so basic abs at the block. Legs can be bent 90 degrees, active feet. Or legs can be straight up towards the ceiling. We're going to be doing 2-part twisting abs with a block. Spread your back ribs into the floor. Inhale, lift your head and shoulders off of the floor. Hold the breath, squeeze your block. Exhale, scoop the tailbone up, bring both elbows towards your left thigh, and pull your low belly down. Breathe in, come back to center. Hold the breath, squeeze your block. Exhale, scoop the tailbone up, elbows towards your right thigh, pull your low belly down. Breathe in, come back to center. Hold the breath, squeeze your block. Exhale, scoop the tailbone up, elbows towards your left thigh, pull your low belly towards the floor. Breathe in deeply into your spot, come back to center. Hold the breath, squeeze your prop. Exhale, scoop the tailbone up, elbows towards your right thigh, pull your low belly down. Breathe in, come back to center. Hold the breath, squeeze your prop. Exhale, scoop the tailbone up, bring both elbows towards your left thigh, and pull your low belly down. Inhale, come back to center. Hold the breath, squeeze your prop. Exhale, scoop the tailbone up, elbows towards your right thigh, pull your low belly down. Inhale, come back to center. Do one more on your own. When you're done, first come back to center. Inhale, bring your head, then your feet back to the floor. Actually remove your prop. Breathe in and feel through your whole core, from the bottom of your pelvic bowl to the top of your skull. And as you exhale, rinse through the whole core, feeling for this heat that you're generating for yourself, how it's creating space. And then set up for bridge. Have a block nearby. We'll use it for a supported bridge. Graze the back of your heels with your longest fingertips, feet slightly wider than your hips. Activate your feet. Spread your arms, palms up. Make sure that your head can be flat on the floor. So sometimes hair gets in the way. So if you're a ponytail, you might have to move the ponytail to the top of your head or the side. If you did a braid like I did and didn't get it quite on the side, see if you can move it to the side so your head can be flat. Press into your feet. Spread your breath through your whole back. Scoop your tailbone up. Exhale, pressing into your feet. Lift your hips towards the ceiling. Inhale, push your sternum towards your chin, feeling for getting longer. Press into your feet, squeeze those sit bone muscles, and as you exhale, slide your tailbone towards the back of the knees. Lengthen your low back. Grab your block. Place your block underneath your sacrum on the highest, most comfortable edge for you. There are 3 choices. And if none of those choices work, with 2 blocks, you can stack 2 blocks on top of each other on the narrowest height and place that underneath your sacrum. Make sure it's on your sacrum and not your low back. Once you have your block in place, make sure it's pretty stable. Active feet, press into your feet, squeeze those sit bone muscles. One leg up, heel toe your left foot in about 1 inch so that the ankle and the knee line up with your left hip bone. Inhale your right knee into the chest. Exhale, straighten the leg, pushing up through the ball of the foot. Activate your feet, spread your toes, lift your toes on both feet. Inhale through the front of your body, lifting your sternum towards the chin. Exhale, slide your tailbone towards the back of the left knee. Press up through the right foot, down through the left foot. Slowly come out of this, bring the right foot back to the floor, activate it and press into it. Inhale the left knee into the chest. Exhale, straighten the leg towards the ceiling, pushing up through the ball of the foot. Even if initially you're not feeling that your spot's ready to become spacious and soft, feel into the shape of the pose and feel where in this pose offers an opportunity to soften without relaxing in your pose, without collapsing in your pose. Could be your neck, your jaw, the back of your skull. Slowly bring the left foot back to the floor, pressing into both feet. Inhale, sternum towards your chin, so you're getting longer. Press into your feet. Exhale, scoop the tailbone up. Lift your hips up, just enough to move your block or blocks off to the side. Stay up. And as you exhale, scoop your tailbone up. Come down slowly, upper back, mid back, low back. Then your tailbone is the last to come down. Back traction. Bring the hands on your thighs, slide the heels of your hands into your hip creases. Inhale the breath into your back ribs. Exhale, straighten your arms as much as is available and feel for tractioning your spine. And you may scoop your tailbone towards the back of the knees. That might feel good. Or you might move your pubic bone away from your belly button. The low back may lift slightly off the floor. Feel in with your breath into your back, all along your spine, to feel which version of this gets into making space. Perhaps not directly into your spot, but somewhere along your spine. Then release, roll over to your side. Use your hands on the floor. Inhale, push your torso up to sit. Let your head and your neck relax the whole way up. Once you're up, use the bottom hand on your cheek. The head is heavy. Lift your head back up with your hand. Then it's time for sun salutations. So come and stand at the front of your mat. If you're like me and your props are kind of moving all over the place, neaten up your space for a moment. Take a sip of water. If you need padding underneath your knees in lunges, this is the time to take a blanket and put the blanket halfway across your mat. I'm not going to use that because I have a very thick but dense mat which pads my knees. Active feet, they can be together or hips width apart, but pointing in the same direction. Toes are spreading and lifting. Press into your feet. Already notice how your legs engage. You might even start feeling how your sit bone muscles engage. Inhale, spread your breath into your side ribs. Exhale, hands at heart center. Slide your tailbone towards the floor just a little bit to lengthen your low back. Inhale, arms up, ribs up. Exhale, pull the belly in, bend the knees so the hips come way, way back. So you lengthen your spine as you come down. And if your hamstrings are open, you can straighten your knees there. Lunge, inhale. Hands down, step your left foot back. Pad your left knee if you need it. Press into both feet. If you're ready to bring the hands up, you can float your arms up or the hands can be on your thighs. You can also grab blocks and place hands on blocks. Plank, exhale, hands down. Inhale, step back, lower the knees. Exhale, pulling the belly in, lower all the way to the floor. Elbows straight back. Low Cobra, move the hands forward. In a Sphinx, forearms down for the moment. Elbows and wrists and the middle finger are lined up, and they should be ever so slightly wider than your shoulder width. Press into your feet, curl the pubic bone into the floor. Press into the thighs. Then press into your hands, inhale, drag your front, bottom ribs and mid ribs forward. Lift the elbows 2 inches off the floor. Stay up, exhale, shoulder blades down the back, armpits back, chest forward, and lower down. Hands beneath the shoulders, down dog. Wrap your shoulder blades. Lunge, inhale, step your left foot forward. Pad your right knee if you need it. Arms where you're ready. Exhale, forward fold. Hands down, lightly step forward. Hang your head. Pressing into your feet. We're going to come up with bent knees. Bend your knees. Chest comes forward. Stand up by pressing into your feet, squeezing your sit bone muscles. Exhale, hands at heart center. In this next round, use your inhale breath to breathe into your spot, using the movement and your breath to bring some softness and some spaciousness into your spot. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Lunge, inhale, right foot back. Plank, exhale, hands down. Step back. Lower the knees, lower all the way down, shoulders away from the ears and the floor. Low Cobra, hands forward 12 inches. Inhale, pull the chest forward. Pull the chest forward, lower down, hands beneath the shoulders. Exhale, down dog, wrap your shoulder blades. Lunge, inhale, lightly step your right foot forward. Arms up if you're ready. Exhale, forward fold. Press into your feet. Inhale, stand up. You can always roll up with bent knees if that's better for your low back. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms up. Use your exhale breath to rinse through your spot. Exhale, forward fold. Lunge, inhale, left foot back. Plug both feet into the floor to float your ribs up. Exhale, plank. Step back. Lower the knees, lower all the way to the floor, pulling your chest forward the whole way down. Low Cobra. Inhale. Get your legs active. Push into your feet. Lower down, pulling the chest forward. Exhale, down dog. Lunge, inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, forward fold. Pushing into your feet, inhale, stand up. Exhale, hands at heart center. This next round, connect to all aspects of your breath and the movement, using the movement, the heat that you're building, and your breath to feel into your spot and start feeling for what your spot needs to feel more spacious and to let go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Lunge, inhale, right foot back. Plank, exhale, hands down, step back. Lower the knees, lower all the way to the floor. Keep your legs active. Press back and down through your feet. Press into your thighs. Low Cobra, inhale, drag your front and mid ribs forward. Armpits back. Exhale, lower down. Down dog. Lunge, inhale, lightly step the right foot forward. Exhale, forward fold. Press into your feet. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Going into B series. Did not say that the other prop we need today is a wall space. We're not using it immediately, and if you don't have wall space, which could even be a closed door, that's okay. I'll give you something else to do when we get there. But first, stay where you are. We're gonna do B series, but have your roll nearby. Have your blocks and your knee padding if you need them. Chair pose, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, scoop your ribs forward, breathe in. Plant your hands, exhale, step back into your plank. Knees can be up or down, your choice. Lower all the way to the floor. If you're ready for Cobra, hands stay underneath the shoulders. If you'd like to repeat low Cobra, move your hands forward 12 inches. Everyone press back and down through your feet. If you're pregnant, you're not lying on your belly. You're doing a version of baby camel on your knees. Hands on the hips, squeezing sit bones, moving tailbone down, telescoping your ribs up. You can also alternate that with chest openers as we move through our vinyasas. Everyone else, Cobra. Inhale, drag your ribs forward, shoulder blades away from the ears. Pull the chest forward, lower down, exhale, down dog. Warrior two with shoulder shrugs. Step your left foot forward between the hands. Press into your feet to stand up. Have your front heel lined up with the back arch. And then lower your arms down. I am mirroring you here. Spread your breath into the upper back. Hold the breath. Shrug the shoulders straight up. Squeeze straight back. Exhale, squeeze. Drag down your back. Saturate your upper back with your breath. Exhale, squeeze straight back. Squeeze, drag down your back. Breathe into the upper back. Exhale, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Add your elbows to squeeze and drag down your back. Float your arms up. Extended warrior variation with a chest opener. Bring the left forearm on the thigh, right arm stretches up towards the ceiling. Relax your neck. If the right arm and shoulder are unhappy there, you can always bring that hand on your hip or the hand on your sacrum. Push into your feet and your left arm. Inhale, lift your torso away from that left thigh. So you're making space for your left bottom ribs. Exhale, push into your back foot, especially the big toe. Push into it and feel for moving those left bottom side ribs away from the waist. You can also use this left arm and kind of pull it towards you to get those ribs to move forward in the same direction as your left foot. Easy twisting lunge. Bring both hands to the floor. Set your right knee down. Pad your right knee. Come into a 90-degree lunge. Some of you might want to block. Grab it if you'd like it. Your right hand is 12 to 18 inches away from your left foot. Could be on a block or the floor. Inhale, reach the left arm straight out towards the ceiling and relax your neck. Push into your feet and your right shin. Inhale, lift those right side ribs away from the floor a little bit more. Exhale, pushing into the feet, squeezing your sit bone muscles. Maybe twist a little more deeply. Right shoulder blade away from the ear. Relax your neck. Unwind, bring both hands to the floor. Exhale, step back into your plank. Lower down, knees can be up or down, your choice. Come up onto hands and knees. Grab your roll. And just for the fun of it, grab a block. Place your block between your ankles and the knuckle beneath your big toes. And then lie over the roll. Unless you're pregnant, no lying over the roll. Definitely no lying over the roll. If you're pregnant, you're doing your baby camel or a version of chest opener. Everyone else, make sure that the roll is in the soft part of your belly and not touching your front bottom ribs. And then come into Sphinx to start. If this feels like a lot for you, you can stay here. But if you have further to go, low cobra. Push into your hands, inhale, pull your ribs forward. Squeeze your block, squeeze your sit bone muscles, and slide your pubic bone and tailbone towards the floor. Isometrically drag your hands toward your armpits. Inhale, your front ribs forward. Armpits back. Dragging the ribs forward, lower down. Peel yourself off of your roll. Exhale, down dog. And then just using one foot, roll or push your block off to the side. Warrior 2, shoulder shrugs. Lightly step your right foot forward. Pushing into both feet. Inhale, float your ribs up. I'm mirroring you, so that was my move, but you stay with your right foot forward. Shoulder shrugs, relax your arms, saturate your upper back with your breath. Hold the breath, shrug the shoulders straight up, squeeze straight back. Exhale, squeeze and drag down your back. Send your breath between your shoulder blades. Exhale, squeeze straight back. Squeeze and drag down your back. Flood your back with your breath. Exhale, squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Add your elbows to squeeze and drag down your back. Float your arms up. Extended warrior variation with the chest opener. Right forearm on your thigh, left arm straight up towards the ceiling. Relax your neck. Push into both feet. Inhale, stretch up through the left fingers. Exhale, push into the padding underneath the left big toe. Push it back. And from there, maybe reach that left arm behind you a little more. Make sure it's opening up your collarbone and you're not just hinging in your shoulder. Inhale the breath through your left side ribs and then swirl that breath in and around your spot. Exhale. Use your breath to feel for softening, letting go. Then bring both hands to the floor. I'm going to turn around so you can see me from the other angle. Left knee padded. Hips are over the left knee. Easy twisting lunge. Grab your block if you're using it. Hand is either on the floor or a block, but is 12 to 18 inches away from the inside of your right foot. Plug both feet into the floor and your left shin. Inhale, reach that right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Exhale, slide the left shoulder blade away from the ear and relax your neck a little more. Use the balance in this pose of expending energy by pressing into your feet, squeezing your sit bone muscles, but then relaxing and letting go, letting your neck relax, letting your jaw relax, and use that balance of energy, expending, and relaxing to feel for that equation in your spot. There's a balance of how much work to do and how much to just let go and allow some other power to take over. Then bring both hands back to the floor. Exhale, back into down dog. Bring your knees down, Dolphin Pose. Forearms to the floor. Take your elbow measurements. Make sure your fingers are really wrapped around your upper arm bones. You can either clasp hands for extra support or forearms parallel. Relax your neck. Push into your forearms. Breathe in between your shoulder blades. Exhale, slide the bottom tips of the shoulder blades towards the armpits. Wrap your shoulder blades. If you have further to go, tuck your toes, straighten your knees, or at least hip bones up. You can keep your knees bent if that's better for your low back or your hamstrings. Push into your forearms. Inhale. Feel for lifting your shoulder girdle away from the floor. Exhale. With that spaciousness, wrap your shoulder blades towards the armpits and relax your neck a little more. Bring your knees down. Come back into down dog. Warrior two. Step your left foot forward. Stand up in warrior two first for reverse warrior. Reach your right arm straight up to start. Keep your left knee bent over the ankle. Inhale, reach that arm back and up. And then windmill your arms into reverse warrior. Relax your neck. If this is too much for your low back or even your neck, bring your right hand onto your hip crease. Left hand hovers over your thigh for a neck release version. Push into both feet. Now feel your sit bone muscles. Squeeze them. Then from there, keep your left knee really stable and steady. Inhale, reach the bottom side ribs away from your waist, both the right and the left. Exhale, wrap the left shoulder blade towards the armpit. Straighten that arm a little more. Pull your belly in so you're supporting your low back. Keep squeezing your sit bone muscles. Inhale, reach that left arm forward. Triangle pose. Press into the left foot, straighten the leg. If you're using a block, grab it. The block can be to the outside or the inside of the left foot. Heel toe your right foot in, 1 inch. Hips back. Inhale, left arm forward. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand to your shin or a block and stretch your right arm straight up towards the ceiling. That's too much for the right shoulder. Hand can be on the hip or the sacrum. Push into both feet. Inhale, especially push into the right foot to feel how it helps to move your right sit bone muscle down more than back. Back meaning not in the direction of your right foot. It's down. And when you do that, the left side of your pelvis moves in the direction of your left thigh. Now lift your left quad away from the knee, and you can actually look at it to see if it's doing that. Feel how engaged your legs are. Breathe in and luxuriate in your own strength. And then as you exhale, without letting go of that connection to your legs and your feet, exhale, let go in your neck, your jaw. Separate the backs of your teeth. And then feel in your spot. Breathe in and feel there. And notice how these things, which may not seem directly related to your spot, helps to inform what you feel in your spot. Then bend the front knee, bring both hands to the floor for Pigeon Pose. Set the back knee down. For Pigeon, it's Pigeon forward fold. Make sure that your right leg is straight out from your right hip, not winging out to the right. If you have further to go, pull your chest forward You might just rest your forearms on the floor, or you might be able to reach the arms forward. Forehead could be on the floor or a block. If that does not work for you, come onto your back. And what you'll do instead is back release pose, which could be the version where you're pushing into your thighs, or it could be the version where you're pulling your right thigh towards your chest. Wherever you are, inhale into your back ribs. Now as you exhale, feel yourself sink into the floor. Then if you're in regular pigeon, peel yourself off the floor. Exhale back into plank. If you're in back release pose, meet up in plank pose, and then lower all the way to the floor. Grab your roll. Grab your block. Place your block between your ankles. If you're pregnant, you're doing your baby camel or chest opener on your knees. Everyone else, live your roll. Again, if this roll is super uncomfortable, you can stay here in a Sphinx pose with forearms down, pressing into the forearms, moving your shoulder blades away from the ears. Chest forward, armpits back. If you have further to go, you could either do low cobra. If you have further to go still, cobra, hands underneath the shoulders. Everyone, squeeze your block. Press into your thighs. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Inhale, pushing into the hands. Lift your ribs forward, then up. Exhale, pubic bone towards the floor. Squeeze your block. Move the ribs forward. Armpits and elbows come back. Lower all the way down. Soften in your belly, so the roll comes a little more deeply in your belly. Then peel yourself off of the roll, move it off to the side. Exhale, down dog. Just lightly push your block off to the side. Reverse warrior. Step your right foot forward, warrior 2 foot position. Plug both feet into the floor so that you're floating your ribs up with less effort. I'm switching, so I'm mirroring you. Lift your left arm straight up. Inhale the ribs up and back. And as you exhale, either windmill the arms or come into neck release. Keep your right knee bent right over the ankle. Inhale, pull your belly in, squeeze those sit bone muscles. And from there, lift your side bottom ribs away from the waist. Get taller. And then as you exhale, lean back a little more. Relax your neck. As you inhale, feel into the shape of the pose. We all have favorite poses and less favorite poses. Some poses may make it easier to feel that balance of effort and letting go or softening. And some poses may make that a little more challenging. So whatever you feel in this pose, as you inhale, just feel it. Experience it in your body. Then as you exhale, feel for where you can let go a little more. It might be in your spot, but it could be your jaw, your neck. And then reach your right arm forward. Use it to pull yourself back up. Triangle pose. Push into the right foot, straighten the leg. If you're using a block, grab it. Heel toe your left foot in, 1 inch. Hips back. Inhale the right arm forward. And as you exhale, windmill your arms or the left hand's on your hip or your sacrum. Relax your neck. Push into both feet. Squeeze those sit bone muscles. Inhale, drag the sternum away from your waist. So you're getting longer through the whole spine. Exhale, separate the backs of the teeth. Let your jaw be slack. Pigeon pose. Unwind, bring both hands to the floor. You're doing either a pigeon forward folding or a back release pose. In pigeon, make sure your left leg is straight back from the left hip. You can either just pull the chest forward, resting on your forearms, or if you have further to go, pull your chest forward, bring the forehead on the floor or blocks, and you might even be able to straighten your arms. But no matter where you are, even in back release pose, shoulders away from the ears. Spread your breath from your bottom back ribs through the mid back ribs into the upper back ribs. Exhale. Just let yourself release and let go. You're on the floor, even if you're in back release pose. So no holding yourself up. Just let yourself go. Then slowly, hands in front of the shins, exhale, down dog. I'm going to make this turbo dog. So if you need to bring the knees down, and I'll show that version, do that. If you can come into turbo dog with the knees up, just bend the elbows down. If your knees are down, bend the elbows halfway towards the floor. Everyone, squeeze your elbows towards each other. Inhale through the upper back. If your knees are down and you have further to go, lift the knees away from the floor. Turbo dog. Keep broadening through your collarbones. Then, lightly, step your left foot forward, warrior one foot position. Stand up in your warrior one. Make sure that your hips are facing the front of your mat. Bird wing, clamp your upper arms into the side ribs. I'm going to just turn this way so you can see me. Squeeze your arms in. Inhale, feel for your ribs pressing out into your arms as you squeeze your arms in. Exhale, keep that squeeze, separate the forearms, collarbones broaden. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, separate your forearms, shoulder blades squeeze towards each other. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, keep the squeeze. Separate your forearms. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, keep the squeeze. Separate the forearms. Squeeze your right sit bone muscle down the back of the right thigh. Inhale, come back to center. Easy twisting warrior. Your right hand comes to the floor or a block, 12 to 18 inches away from the inside of your left foot. Inhale through your left side ribs. Exhale, bring the right shoulder blade away from the ear. Relax your neck a little more. If your hamstring on the back leg is tweaky, or this tweaks your low back, lift the heel, keep the leg straight. If that's too much, you can always bring the back knee down for an easy twisting lunge. Repeat. Pyramid pose, bring both hands to the floor. Everyone grab your blocks. So that might mean you have to stand up to actually get them. Your feet are slightly closer together than in warrior one. So your feet are about 3.5 feet from front to back. Hips still face the front of the mat. Have your hands on your blocks, and if you don't have 2 blocks, grab a chair You can put both hands on the back of the chair. This is also great if your low back is really tweaky, so you're not forward folding. Plug both feet into the floor. Inhale, scoop your ribs forward so you're getting longer. Exhale, pull the belly in, slide your left hip back, right hip forward. And you might just stay there, but if you have further to go, bend your elbows back like in Turbo Dog and Turbo Puppy. Relax your neck. Inhale the breath into your back bottom ribs. Exhale, soften there, even if it's not your spot. Then inhale into your spot. And then use your exhale to soften in your spot. Bend your front knee. Move both blocks off to the side. Exhale, back into plank or just onto hands and knees. Grab your roll. Grab one of your blocks. Block between your ankles and your knuckle of your big toe. Fly over the roll. If you're pregnant, baby camel on your shins. Cobra push-ups over the roll. You can always repeat Sphinx pose like this, low cobra or cobra over the roll. But if you have further to go, Cobra push-ups. It's great for the low back. Curl the pubic bone towards the floor, squeeze the block, plug your thighs and plug the tops of the feet into the floor. Shoulder blades away from the ears. Inhale, pushing into the hands, drag the ribs forward, shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, soften the belly just a little bit. Pull the ribs forward so you get longer as you come down. Curl the pubic bone into the floor. Push your legs into the floor. Inhale. Isometrically drag your hands toward your hips to pull your ribs forward. Exhale, keep pulling your ribs forward, lower down so you get longer and longer. Squeeze your block, curl the pubic bone into the floor. Inhale, drag the ribs forward, lift up. Drag the ribs forward, lower down. Pause, breathe into your low back. Then peel yourself off of the block, or the roll rather. Move your block off to the side. Exhale, down dog. Or turbo dog. Warrior one with bird wing. Step your right foot forward. Squeeze your upper arms into your side ribs. Squeeze that left sit bone muscle down the back of the left thigh. Inhale into your side ribs. Exhale, keep the squeeze. Separate your forearms, opening up your collarbones. Keep the collarbones broad as you inhale. Bring the forearms back to center. Do 3 more on your own. Keep the back of your skull lined up with the back of your hips. Easy twisting warrior. This time it's the right hand either on the floor or a block, the left arm straight up towards the ceiling. You could always bring the back knee down and repeat easy twisting lunge. Push into the left hand. Inhale. Use that pushing into the hand to actually move your sternum away from the front waist. Exhale, squeeze the left sit bone muscle down the back of the left thigh. Move your right hip back. Keep plugging your feet into the floor. Pyramid pose. Frame your front foot with both hands. Grab your blocks. So that might mean come out of the pose, grab them. And then hop your Left foot in just 1 inch. So your legs are about 3.5 feet away from each other. Then put one hand on your sacrum and then feel where your hips are in space. If one hip is higher, push into both feet so you're using them to steer your hips, getting your hips even with the floor. Then bring your hands back onto your blocks or your chair if you're using a chair. Push into your feet. Inhale, scoop your ribs forward. Exhale, pull the belly and keep pulling the ribs forward. You may bend the elbows to forward fold a little more deeply, or stay more upright if that's better for your low back. Shoulder blades away from the ears no matter what you're doing. If your hamstrings are tweaky, micro bend your front knee. Take your left hand to the inside of the left thigh, squeeze the hand into the thigh and the thigh into the hand. Then move both blocks off to the side. Exhale, back into turbo dog or down dog. Archer, warrior one. Step your left foot forward. If you need a strap, grab it. Your right arm will be up and your left arm will be down. So if you're using a strap, put the strap on your right shoulder. The left arm reaches around, grabs your strap if you're using it. Right arm up, bend at the elbow, grab your strap, clothing, or your hands. If this does not feel great on your shoulder, you're doing half arch your arms with the top elbow bent. Then your left hand comes to the outside of that elbow and give it some pressure. The right elbow comes out to the right and isometrically squeeze it with the left hand. Plug both feet into the floor. If your back hamstring is tweaky, you can always lift that heel, but feel for that heel moving down, even if you need to keep the knee bent. Inhale, the right sit bone muscle down the back of the thigh, and from there, lift your front ribs away from the waist. Exhale, slide your tailbone towards the floor. Keep that left knee bent over the ankle. Inhale into your side bottom ribs. Exhale, soften there. And then explore into your spot. Notice how when you feel spacious somewhere else in your body, it helps to bring a little more spaciousness into your tight, tweaky, or even fearful spot. A spot that feels fear, or where you're holding fear or worry. Twisting warrior. Your right elbow comes over the left thigh. Make a fist with the bottom hand and cup it with the top hand. This is too much, bring the back knee down and do twisting lunge. It's a 90-degree lunge. You could pad the back knee and it's still the twist. If that's still too much, you could make this easy twisting warrior or easy twisting lunge. No matter what you're doing, relax your neck. Push into your feet. Inhale. Push into that right elbow to lift your ribs up. Exhale. Squeeze that right elbow into the left thigh. And notice how that helps you to get your right ribs towards your left thigh. And then from there, relax your neck a little more. Both shoulder blades away from the ears. Nomads pose. Frame your front foot with both hands. Set your right knee down. Pad your right knee. Slide your left foot forward. You'll have to play with that. I find blocks super helpful here. Grab your blocks. And if you don't have blocks, get creative. Somebody told me that they saw somebody using paint cans for something like this. You wouldn't put paint cans between your thighs for abdominals, but you can use them to put your hands on. So in Nomads pose, your hips are over your right knee. The left ball of the foot presses into the floor. So for a lot of people, especially if your hamstring's really tweaky or it pulls on your low back, your knee might be bent. But also staying pretty lifted is helpful. And also a chair could work here. You could have the chair with the seat facing you and your hands on the seat of the chair. Plug your right shin and top of the foot into the floor strongly. Use your hands. This is why blocks are great. Inhale, pull the belly in and scoop the front bottom ribs away from the belly. So you're getting longer. Keep pulling the belly in. Exhale. You may deepen into the forward fold. But again, if this tweaks anything, back out of it. Because if you're just pushing yourself into a pose to get deeper, that's actually not moving you towards feeling softness or spaciousness. It's moving you in the other direction. Keep squeezing that right sit bone muscle down the back of the right thigh. And you might notice that that helps you to get your left hip down so it gets a little more even with your right hip. Release your left knee. Exhale, back into down dog or turbo dog, bending the elbows. Step your right foot forward, archer warrior one. Stand up in your warrior one, hips face the front of the mat. If you're using a strap, it goes over your left shoulder. The left arm is up, right arm is down and bends. And you can always do that half archer arms, just working on your upper arm. Squeeze that left sit bone muscle down the back of the left thigh. Plug your feet into the floor, even if your left heel is off of the floor. Inhale, telescope the ribs up. Exhale, slide your tailbone down. Keep that right knee directly over the hip. Or not hip, your ankle. Get your breath spacious. Feel the exhale softening. Twisting warrior. The left elbow comes over the right thigh. Make a fist with the bottom hand and cup it with the top hand. You can always make this twisting lunge or easy twisting warrior or easy twisting lunge. Push that left elbow into the right thigh. Inhale, lift the left bottom ribs away from the right thigh. Squeeze that left elbow into the right thigh. Exhale, winch those left ribs towards your right thigh a little more and relax your neck. If you feel like you're losing balance, a couple of things. One is you might need your left foot to the left a little wider, so that your feet are not like on a tightrope. Also feel your breath, deepen your breath, soften your breath. Active feet, plug both feet into the floor. And squeeze your sit bone muscles. Unwind, Nomads pose. Pat up your left knee. Hips are over the left knee. Grab your blocks or your chair if you're using a chair. The right ball of the foot is flat on the floor. And you might find that this leg is completely different from the other leg, like in my case. Hands on the blocks or your chair. Inhale, scoop your ribs forward. Exhale, pull the belly in. You may forward fold a little more, elbows straight back like in turbo dog or turbo puppy. Right hip back, left hip up and forward. Shoulders away from the ears. slowly come out of this. Exhale back into turbo dog or down dog. More fun ensues. I am going to move the camera so that I have a space set up for the wall. This is where you're going to find a wall. If you don't have a wall, even a closed door, what you'll do instead is dolphin, just on your mat where it is, with one leg up. And you'll do 3 to 4 breaths per leg. That will be your first pose. But I need a moment to move my camera. So take a sip of water if you need that. Okay, this is my wall in my hallway. I'm going to show you dolphin on the wall. And you're not going to be able to see my hands because it's a hallway and that's the kitchen and my hands are going to be in the kitchen. It's not the best setup, but you do what you do in apartments. So you, again, take your elbow measurement, either clasp hands or forearms parallel. Relax your neck. Push into your forearms. Inhale into the upper back. Exhale, straighten the legs. This is a pose. You can stay here. This is another pose. Dolphin on the wall, one leg up. You could do this. But if you have further to go, 1 foot, hips height. Press into it, lift the other leg up. Dolphin on the wall. To come out, 1 leg at a time. Come down. So everyone, if you're coming to the wall, come to the wall. Set up with your feet right up against the baseboard. And while you do that, I'm going to adjust my camera and bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Take your elbow measurement, wrapping your fingers around your upper arm bones, either clasp hands or forearms parallel. Relax your neck. Push into your forearms. Inhale, spread into the upper back. Exhale, wrap your shoulder blades, then straighten the legs. Pause. Breathe in there and assess. You can stay here. You could also do the 1 leg straight, 4 breaths each side. If you're doing the dolphin on the wall, 1 foot behind the hip on the wall. Push into it, exhale, come into your dolphin on the wall. Slide your tailbone towards the wall. Keep pressing into your feet, relax your neck. If you have further to go, still 1 leg up. Make sure you do both legs. If you need to come down between sides, do that. One leg at a time, come down. Sit up, chest opener. Squeeze your hands behind the hips. Inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Grab a block. Chair. Actually, squat on the wall. I'm going to show it first. You place your block between your shins, not on your knees, not on your ankles. Medium width. Set your hips on the wall. And then start sitting down. You may have to scoot your ankles forward. Your ankles stay underneath the knees. Scoot down enough so that the hips are parallel with your knees if you can. Back of the head on the wall. Inhale, push your bottom back ribs and your mid ribs into the wall. Exhale, squeeze your sit bone muscles, sliding your tailbone towards the wall. Some of you might have further to go, lifting your arms towards the ceiling. If you can, which I can't show right now, the backs of the hands on the wall, but notice how your ribs and your shoulders may want to reach away from the wall. You can also stay here with your hands on your thighs. To come out, hands on the wall, hips up, forward fold. So let's do this together. Grab your block, place it between your shins. Then, hands on the wall, have your hips on the wall. Scoot your feet forward a little bit. You really need a mat here so your feet don't slip. Slide your hips down as far as you can get them, but not lower than your knees. Squeeze your block, active feet. Inhale, push these front bottom ribs and mid ribs back so that your mid back is spreading into the wall. Again, if you have a ponytail, move it so the back of the skull can be on the wall. Inhale, keep pushing those back ribs into the wall. Exhale, squeeze those sit bone muscles. Use them to slide your tailbone away from the wall towards the back of your knees. And feel how that spreads your low back into the wall. Breathe and feel. Sometimes it's the poses that make us shake and really bring us to the edge of our strength that brings up this energy that we can use to soften and make space in places that are tight or constricted or feel fearful. Sometimes doing something that we think we can't do is just enough to start softening through that feeling of worry or fear. Feeling you actually have the strength to do it. Or do part of it, some part of it. To come out, hands on the wall, press into your feet and your hands, slide your hips up. Drop your block off to the side, forward fold. If forward folding does not work for you, press into your hands, scoot your feet towards the wall, and telescope the ribs. Sit bones and tailbone down, ribs up. Active feet. If you're pregnant, you can do this, but your feet might have to even get wider. Then to come out, bend your knees, hands on the wall. Inhale, roll up. Slide the feet towards the wall, stand up. Down dog on the wall. It's going to be interesting with a limited camera view. Knees underneath the hips. That part does not change. Start off with the wrists underneath the shoulders, slightly wider than your shoulders, but then walk your hands forward about 4 inches. Now watch me to start. Press into your hands. Inhale, spread into the upper back. Exhale, you might stay here, or you can straighten your knees, relax your neck. The heels stay on the wall. This is a pose, you can stay here. You can also stay away from the wall and repeat turbo dog or down dog, one leg straight. From here, pose option is one leg up the wall, 4 breaths each leg. But if you have further to go for the down dog on the wall, inhale here first. Exhale, 1 foot at a time, hips height. Press into it, bring the other leg up. Front bottom ribs in towards your spine. To come out, 1 foot at a time down, and forward fold. So if you're doing that, set up with your feet flat on the wall. Walk your hands about 4 inches in front of the line of the shoulders, but a little wider than shoulder width. Relax your neck. Press into your spread palms and fingers. Breathe into the upper back. Exhale, wrap your shoulder blades towards the armpits. Straighten the legs. Inhale here. If you're going for the down dog on the wall, one leg at a time, hips height. Keep wrapping your shoulder blades towards the armpits. Inhale, press into your hands, sit bones towards the ceiling. Exhale, tailbone towards the wall. Relax your neck. To come out, 1 foot at a time. Hips on the wall, forward fold. Bend your knees, hands on the wall. Inhale, roll up. I'm going to stay here. Neck release pose. Coming to easy cross leg. Then take your right hand, clamp your fingers together. Turn your fingers to face your center line. Lift up so that you're sitting all the way on the top of your hand. Fingers point toward your center line. Straighten that right arm. And if you can't do that because your arms are longer than your torso, sit up on a blanket. Your fingers go underneath the blanket. Inhale, lift up through the sternum. Exhale, lean towards the left. You may feel the stretch in the left side of your neck, actually the right side of your neck. If you have tight shoulders or tightness in your arms, you might actually start feeling the stretch more in your arm somewhere, and that's okay to start. If you have further to go, your left hand reaches around and just lightly touches somewhere near your jawline. If your arm's long enough, you might actually touch your jawline. But you're not pulling, you're just using the weight of the arm and using gravity for an extra deep stretch. I'm not going to do that version. Inhale, lift up through the sternum. So you're telescoping the ribs, you're getting taller. And exhale, just let your torso, let your head and your neck lean towards the left. Then release your right arm, bring it on your knee, roll the chin down towards the floor. Inhale, lift your sternum up. Then take your left hand on your forehead and lift your head back up. Change the cross of your legs. Left hand, clamp your fingers together. Bend at the wrist so you can get the fingers to face your center line. Lift up and then sit down so you're sitting on the whole length of your top of the hand. This hurts your hand. Just sometimes pressing down into one of my knuckles really hurts. So you might shift around a little bit to try to get that sit bone muscle not to press directly into one of your knuckles. Also, if your arms are longer than your torso, when your torso is upright, sit on a blanket and your fingers go underneath the blanket as well as your sit bones. Inhale, sternum up. Exhale, lean towards the right. Your right ear hangs down towards the right shoulder. Chin does not drop at this point. Inhale through the left side of your neck and into the left jaw. Exhale without collapsing, without letting your chest lean forward. Feel for where you can soften and let go. You could do that extra weight without pulling if that feels good with the right arm, gently reaching around, your fingers touching your cheek, somewhere between your cheek and your jawline. Get your breath big and spacious. Feel it move into your left shoulder, through the left side of your neck and into your jaw. And as you exhale, rinse your breath through your spot and feel for releasing and letting go there. So that the releasing and letting go of the pose also happens in your spot, even if it's not directly related. Then sit up so that you can release your left hand to your thigh. Roll your chin down to the center. Let your head hang. Inhale, lift your sternum up. So you're getting taller through the spine. Then take your right hand on your forehead and lift your head back up. It's time for Shavasana. So come and lie down. If you'd rather have a little more back support, options are shins on the back or on the seat of a chair. A cushiony chair would be better, or your couch. Another option, since we're at the wall, is hip right up against the wall. Slide your legs up the wall, the back of the skull and your back are flat on the floor, and your hips gently rest on the wall, or your buttocks really. Your legs should relax. If that does not work for you, you can come into regular Shavasana, spreading your legs out, or you could even bend the knees as wide as your mat, knocking the knees together. Once you find yourself in your comfortable Shavasana, let your deep Ujjayi breath go. Let yourself sink into the support of your floor. And as you inhale, just scan your body, including your spot, but feel for any little residual feeling of constriction or tightness. Anything that's feeling like it's ready to let go, but it needs a little extra oomph to let go. Exhale, use that breath to rinse wherever that is that you feel that just a tiny bit of stuckness, tightness, or that even a little bit of worry or fear that's ready to soften or be put down and let go. And now just luxuriate and feeling for more deeply sinking into the support of the floor. If you'd like a longer Shavasana, you could stop the video and set a timer for 5 to 10 minutes. Slowly bring your attention back to your whole body. Take a deep feeling breath. Fill your whole core, that space between the bottom of your pelvic bowl and the top of your skull with your breath. Exhale, rinse the deepness of your own breath, the luxuriousness of your breath through every cell of your body. If your legs are up the wall or your shins are on your couch, bend your knees so that the soles of the feet are either flat on the wall or flat on the front of your couch. If your legs are straight on the floor, bend your knees, sliding the soles of the feet to the floor. Everyone slowly roll over to one side or the other. And slowly make your way up to sit, keeping your neck relaxed the whole way up. Once you're upright, find your comfortable seated position. Come back into your Ujjayi breath. Inhale, connect back into your spot, noticing what has changed, what has shifted, or even notice the deeper connection that you have in your spot. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Take a deep inhale in. Namaste. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day or your evening.